Well, Cheltenham, day one. This is the preview of all 7 races, commencing at 1:30 right through till 5:30. 7 races on your first day of the festival, of the 4-day festival card. And this is Peter, and I'm going to preview all 7 races. You would have already had an email sent to you, and if you're on Telegram, you'd have also had a race-by-race preview of all the action throughout the Tuesday's races. But this is a video from me for those of you who like to listen to the action unfold as I see it, as well as read all about it as well. I'm going to give you my best bet in each event and also my main danger. I say main danger, obviously it's an extremely competitive affair, although tomorrow looks like a couple of races which should be more straightforward, but you can never tell. And I'm going to go through every race, as I say, starting with the 1:30, the Supreme Novices, and then I'll be ending up the first day with the final race on the card, where I've got something around about 7-1 I think could overturn the hot pot favourite. Let's go to the 1:30 at Cheltenham then on day one. Last year on this day I had a cracking day, loads of winners, and indeed on the 4 days of the festival I picked 22 winners from my best bet and next bet. So if you want to have some doubles and trebles, you could do, or put them in play spots, and whatever you want to play it, you will, I'm sure, be adept at doing just what you want to do throughout the 4 days. But I'm going to give him my best bet, my next bet in each race. We're going to start with the 1:30 at Cheltenham, the Supreme Novices Hurdle. The horse I like here is a horse trading at 4-1 at the moment with William Hill, 7-2 everywhere else. It's number 10 on your card, and it's called Marine Nationale. Marine Nationale. It's trained by Barry Connell over there in Ireland, and I think this horse is an excellent chance of winning the first race of the day. I really do. It's not a bad price, 7-2, 4-1. I don't think there's too many runners in this particular race. Well, not betting wise anyway. There's 14 runners going to post, but I think it's it's Facel Vega is the favourite, trained by Willie Mullins, ridden by Paul Townend. And if you take the run away from last time when it finished 5th, very disappointing at Leopardstown last time, up in a Grade 1 contest, went off at 9-4 on. If you could forget about that, then Facel Vega will probably odds-on favourite to win this event. But I can't forget about it, and I was disappointed in his performance. I really was, the gelding, Facel Vega, and I can't forgive it, that one. I'm going to go with the unbeaten prospect, a real smart prospect indeed, and it's Marine Nationale to win the opener, and that's around 4-1, 7-2 to money. For a big price outsider in the race, funny enough, I like another William Mullins horse ridden by his son Patrick. It's number 3. It's called Diverge. Tongue-tied for the first time. I think this horse has got a lot of improvement still within it. Patrick Mullins had an absolutely amazing Cheltenham last time, and he'll probably have another amazing one this time round. And so I'm going to oppose the short price favourite, William Mullins, because I'm not convinced about it at the moment. And I'm going to go for a bigger one, 14-1 across the board here, Diverge, as a horse that could have a lot of improvement in it. After winning a 22-runner maiden race last time up at Punchestown, when ironically Paul Townend rode it, went off at 11-10 on that day, and won by 23 lengths. So there's no telling how good this one is, and knowing William Mullins is going to have it bang on. That was on the 30th of January it last ran. He's going to have the horse absolutely cock on, and it could go off, well, it will go off at a big price, 14-1 currently available, and that looks a cracking each way price. And it's my likely outsider to Marine Nationale. So that's the first race covered for you there. I've already wrote what I think about these races. This is just to say to hear my thoughts verbally. And let's see where we go with the next race. Well, the next race, I really like this horse. It's number 3. It's called ELFABIOLO. Trained by Willie Mullins. Just been talking a lot about him. I know he's going to have a magnificent Cheltenham, always does, but he certainly did last year. I think he'll have a great one this year as well. Now, this one's ridden by Paul Townend, and I'm pretty glad about that. Daryl Jacob rode the horse last time out, but I think Paul Townend's the right man for the job. And I think ELFABIOLO will win. I'm very much like it indeed. It's got a tough nut to crack with John Bond, trained by Nicky Henderson, ridden by Coleman. But last time up, it didn't impress me at Warwick last time up. And I think, to be honest with you, that this horse is going to be a bridge too far. ELFABIOLO is really a lovely horse, and just won the Irish Arkle Challenge Trophy, and now it runs in the English one, or the Cheltenham Arkle Trophy. It won on the 4th of February at Leopardstown, beating 7 rivals when Daryl Jacob rode it. a mightily impressive performance, winning by 10 lengths that day. And I know that everyone, the connections, were thrilled with it. And I think they've got themselves a real racehorse here. It's only 6 years old. It's got so much improvement within it. It's up against a slightly older competitor in John Bond, but I wasn't that impressed with that one last time. I think ELFABIOLO, it's going to take something special to beat it, and I'm on it. Number 3, ELFABIOLO to win. The danger, well, as I say, John Bond, I'll have to put that down as my main danger. There is also the other Mullins horse, Dysart Dynamo, which likes to go from the front, bowl along, and that one could surprise. Excuse me, it could surprise, but I think it'll have to be something a surprise to beat ELFABIOLO, who's pretty much nap material, I think, in the 210 at Cheltenham. So that's the second bet covered there with ELFABIOLO. No doubts that's the one for me. Now, the third race is a race that I've had an anti-post bet in going on for some time, and I know you're probably all on it at bigger prices. It's now down to 6-1 favourite. And I think a worthy favourite at that. It was 12-1 when I was sending the horse out in the last few weeks, and certainly the money's pouring on it now. It's number 10. It's called Corach Rambler, trained by Lucinda Russell, whose team is in excellent form, and ridden by Derek Fox. This is a really nice racehorse. It's running off a really low mark of 146, and I've got it something as a dot on the card, to be honest with you. I think it's extremely well handicapped, and in this Ultima handicap chase for 70 grand. It's a 250 at Cheltenham. I can't see this horse being far away at all, and I think it'll win. I really do like it. I think the course is going to suit it down to the ground. It won last year here, I say over 3 miles at this track, so I know the course suits it, but even better nowadays, it won this race last year, the Ultimate Handicap Chase. It won this last year, but it's certainly improved since then. And I think this horse has got an outstanding chance. I say won the race last year, runs off a mark of 146 Tuesday. It's ran off a mark of 140 when it won last year, but has definitely improved more than £6. And I can't see anything stopping this. You know, it just really, long as it can jump round, and I'm sure it will. It's a really lovely horse who could be even better than this in time, running in these handicaps. It could be. I think it could go to a Gold Cup chance next year, and on the back of this, if it wins this, could see this horse in the Gold Cup next year. Number 10, it's called Corach Rambler, and it's got a great chance, and that's the one I like there. The danger there, well, there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but the horse I'm going to give you is number, I'm going to turn to it in a minute, so you must excuse me. I'm just looking at the price of these horses at the moment. But the number 4 horse, it's called the Big Breakaway, trained by Joe Tizard and ridden by Brendan Powell. Not the best jumper in the world, this one, and can make mistakes, but likes to bowl along in front and could have the race run to suit. And I could see the Big Breakaway take him along a merry dance for quite a while here, and I could see that Corach Rambler pricking that one off, though, as they turned into the straight with, say, 2 to jump. And that's how I see this race panning out. I think that, no doubt about it, Corach Rambler will pick that one off as they turn into straight. That's how I see the race developing, and that's quite a prediction, but that's what I see. Number 10, Corach Rambler winning, and I think the danger could be the Big Breakaway, who could break away from them given the race conditions, but I think Corach Rambler will win. So that's my third bet there in the third race, the Ultimate Handicap, where we're on at 12-1. And good luck to you with that one. The next race, it's not a betting medium for me. It's a 3:30, the big race, Champion Hurdle, £250,000 in prize money. Constitutional Hill, outstanding favourite. I've got to tip it. I won't be backing it. I think I'll probably win. And I think probably State Man will be second. And probably that's how they're going to come 1-2. I wouldn't have your life on it at 3's on, that's for sure. And I could see Willie Mullins' charge State Man running a blind rear. I really do. But it is a class act Constitutional, and I have to go for that way. So if anything, I'd probably go for the forecast, but it'll probably be a no bet for me. Constitutional Hill, the win. State Man for the second, or the main danger there. Pretty straightforward surmise there. Right, now the 4:10 at Cheltenham. Interesting race. It's the Close Brothers Mares Hurdle. A lot of runners, 10 runners go for this one. And there's 2 horses which I think have got outstanding chances. One is Brandy Love, trained again by William Mullins. We've already talked about him, ridden by Paul Townend. And the other one's number 3, ANTE, trained by Nicky Henderson and ridden by Aidan Coleman. I like both of these horses very much indeed. One's 9-2 and the other one's 8-1. They're both backable, so I'd probably back them both each way. If I had to go with one, I'll go with ANTE, who's got such a great record at Cheltenham. He really has, and won the Champion Hurdle back in 2020 and in the 2019-20 season. And I think ANTE could be a little bit too good for these, but I do like Brandy Love as well. Certainly going left-handed is going to suit it, and I like it very, very much indeed. Tends to hang to the left as it runs as well, and I think the course are going to suit it. So I'm each way Brandy Love. I think it's going to be placed. I think it will be placed, and it wouldn't surprise me if it won, but I'm going to go for ANTE to give JP McManus another win at the festival there. So that's how I see that. About a 9-2 poke there against an 8-1, so you can back them both, no problems at all. Now the 450, I like number 5 here. It's called BYKER, trained by a real shrewd nut, Charles Burns, and ridden by his son. And I think this horse could be the dot on the card here. I think he could have got this one absolutely slung in. It's potentially thrown in, no doubt about that, for a mark of 1-8. It's got the cheek pieces on for the first time, and that looks like another very, very good move by this very shrewd yard. And Charles Burns, a real shrewdy, as I say, I think has got himself a good £5 claim in his son. He's carrying a featherweight here, number 5. It's called BYKER, and I like it an awful lot, and I could see this one absolutely romping in. Number 5 BYKER, around about 6-1 to your money, so it's not bad whatsoever. Each way first 4, and I think it'll be in the 4, that's for sure. Now the other one that I like in that race is a big one, another 20-1 chance, 16-1 chance actually. It's number 20. It's called Sundial, trained by Padraig Roach, ridden by Simon Torrens. And this horse has got a lot more improvement in it than it's shown so far. It's got 4 zeros next to its name. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the horse won, Sundial, and that's a bold statement. It's 16-1, but I know the horse has been got ready for this, and it's well handicapped off a mark of 120. And as I say, JP McManus owns it, and you know what he can do on this Cheltenham. He can, pull sort of rabbits out the hat, and I wouldn't be surprised if this ran an absolute blinding race. I thought it ran really well last time out, even though on paper 8th of 9 at Punchestown wasn't that good. It didn't have the race run to suit whatsoever. It was a nightmare trip it had. Same jockey rode it. He's rode it the last 3 times, and Rachel Blackmore rode it the time before. And number 20 Sundial is my each way selection there at 16-1. If you're going to have your banker bet and a cover bet, that's the one I'd shoot for there. But BYKER, trained by, say, Charles Burns, a right shrewdy, and each way for me, BYKER, and each way Sundial is how I see that race panning out. The 5:30, the final race today, and hopefully by then you've had some excitement and some winners and a lot of fun. And then I'll come back to you tomorrow with Wednesday's action. But I got this out nice and early for you so you can get all your bets planned. In the 5:30, I like number 7, Manila Crooner, trained by Gordon Elliott. And I think this horse could very well win. It likes to run from the front, this one, and I think this horse is going to be really well suited by this 3 mile 5 furlongs, almost 3 mile 6. It is a marathon trip, and it's going to take some getting in the soft ground at Cheltenham. They are going to come out strung out like washing. But I do think Manila Crooner is going to really enjoy the trip, and if anyone could enjoy running that far. But this horse is stamina laden, and I think Manila Crooner will be bang there at the finish when the others have cried enough. Number 7, Manila Crooner. Each way, 7-1 looks phenomenal value. Really does look great value, and I think it'll be there or thereabouts. It's a real long distance race, this one. 60 grand in prize money, 3.5 miles, well, more than 3.5. It's nearly 3 miles 6, so it is a real marathon. But that horse will appreciate the stamina test. And as I say, Gordon Elliott knows a thing or two about running these big races, and I think he could win one here. Number 7, Manila Crooner. The danger, well, I think you've got to go for the favourite, Gaillard de Mesnel, trained by Mullins, ridden by Patrick, and no doubt about it, it's won Grade 1 races. It's a real nice horse, and I think he'll probably stay the trip, and that's the one for the danger. But I wouldn't take even money against 7-1. So you've got Gaillard de Mesnel at even money and 7-1 Manila Crooner. There's no question in my eyes which is the best value of the two bets. So just run through that again for you. In the opening race, I fancy Marine National quite strongly. I think it's a really, really lovely animal. It will take a lot of beating against the unknown favourite there after a poor run last time. ELFABIOLO in the next race is one of my bankers of the meeting. I really like it a lot. Corach Rambler, well, you know what we're doing with that one in the Coral Cup there. Sorry, in the Ultima handicap. So I've got the Coral Cup tomorrow. Corach Rambler, trained by Lucinda Russell, who's in terrific form. 12 to 1 we've had the price, and that's we've had double the price, double the value. Let's hope we can double the money and win it 6 to 1. I still think that's a good price. Won the race last year, and let's see if we can do the double A. That's what I'm trying to get around and win it again. I think it can. I think I'll take a lot of beating. And Constitutional, you can't back it, but can't really back against it. Brandy Love and Epatante, I find that really hard to separate them two, but I'm going for Epatante because I know it's such a classy horse. But I think Brandy Love is great value at 8 to 1 each way. And the 450 BYKER for Charles Burns, I've mentioned how shrewd he is, and I know the big money's on this one from Ireland, and there's some real shrewd guys back in this, and I know the stable are on it, Man, Jack and Boy. SUNDIAL, big price in that race, unexposed, 4 zeros, could pop up and win a big handicap at a big price there. So have a look at that one. But BYKER is my main pick. And Manila Crooner in the last race of the card, I've just previewed that one. I say the further they go, the further it's going to like it, and I'll be surprised if that doesn't go very close to winning and upset the apple cart to the Willie Mullins with Galliard du Mesnil. Well, that's it. I've gone through the 6 races for you. We've got them handwritten as well. You've had them emailed, they're on Telegram, and they're just about all ready to go. So I wish you the greatest of luck with all your bets. Have a wonderful day. Have a lot of fun. Remember, just take your time. Don't get too involved. Don't get too carried away with the emotion of it. You can get, you bet above your means sometimes when it's an emotional occasion, like the Grand National, things like that. It just takes over, and before you know it, you're having triple the amount of money you would normally have on horses. But you only get paid out the same for a winner at 7 to 1 at Cheltenham as a Cheltenham or a bet at Southwell or Redcar or Ripon. So just try and just pull the reins in a bit and don't get too carried away. But I know it's hard because you enjoy it so much, and it's been a year coming round. So, well, I think we're going to have a good day. You never know, and you can end up with the old poached egg on your face, but it's happened before and it'll happen again. But you got to go for what you really think, and that's what you're paying me for, and that's what I've done. Marine National, ELFABIOLO, Corach Rambler, let's hope that wins. Epatante or Brandy Love, tough one. BYKER, love that. And Manila Crooner to stay longer in the mother-in-law. How's that? Well, that's it. I wish you the best of luck, and I shall be back with you, God willing, when we'll preview day 2, and that'll be sometime on Tuesday. I'll be previewing Wednesday. So look out for your email, and have an amazing day on Tuesday.